You did? Hello, everyone. Welcome to New Jersey DeMolay's first ever charity live stream to benefit No Kid Hungry. Today, all the state officers are here with us. We have our Deputy State Master Counselor Daniel, our State Junior Counselor Evan, our State Scribe Val, our State Almoner Frank, our State Junior Deacon Max, and our State Chaplain Roman. And to start our first interview, we have Dad Dave Glatley. Welcome to New Jersey DeMolay's first ever charity live stream to benefit. He is a past state master counselor of New Jersey DeMolay. He's a past executive officer, past sovereign grand commander of the Northern Masonic Jurisdiction for the Scottish Rite, and a member of the DeMolay International Hall of Fame. Dad Glatley, how are you?
I'm doing great. So nice to be with you, Andrew, and the state officers of New Jersey. But just remember one thing. I'm just a DeMolay boy from Clifton, New Jersey.
Of course. So one of the first question that we want to ask you is, what is your favorite DeMolay memory?
Oh, gosh. I would say I've got a few, but let's try to narrow it down. I certainly loved our what we called in my day conclaves, which you call convention nowadays. In my DeMolay active years, we were in Atlantic City, the old Dennis Hotel, which is now part of Bally's Casino. We had so many good times there. And of course, I retired and went through my career as a state officer there. So very close memories with some of my state officer friends that I'm still friends with today, this many years later.
Yeah, some of my best.
Certainly, hometown Clifton stuff was great. You know, my chapter dad was Dad Art Kester, who we called the chief. He kind of looked like Colonel Sanders' Kentucky Fried Chicken with the white goatee and everything. And Dad Kester was a wonderful guy. To me, the perfect advisor. He knew discipline and he knew when to have fun. And a unique thing about him is he had a speech impediment and his L's and W's came out as R's. So I was Dave Gratley of Clifton DeMolay. And we had a lot of fun at his expense with some of that. But we loved the guy. He was a great chapter dad.
Awesome. I know a lot of my best friends are my state officers as well, and I'm sure that even after this year, we'll stay in touch and be everywhere together. Another thing, you were state master counselor not too far long ago, back in 1974. What?
You're being very polite, Andrew, and I appreciate that.
Oh, you're welcome. What do you think is the main difference between being state master counselor back then versus being state master counselor now in 2022?
Well, we always had similar challenges in getting new members. It just that I think the difference back then is the number of chapters we had. I believe there were 47 chapters in 7 DeMolay districts back then. And when I was deputy state master counselor, I had a goal of visiting every one. And I made all but 4. So when I made state master counselor, those were like the first 4 I put on the list. So I was able to visit them all. I think the challenges, even though quantities are different, I think the challenges are very similar to get recognized in the public, because still a lot of people don't know, what DeMolay is out there. And really, a lot of people don't know what Freemasonry is. I've worked many open houses for both DeMolay and Freemasonry over the years. And you ask, show of hands, how many people heard of the Shriners? Every hand goes up. How many people know you have to be a Mason to be a Shriner? And every hand goes down. So not only DeMolay constantly needs a public image, so does Freemasonry. So I think a lot of challenges are similar.
What are your favorite things to do outside of DeMolay and Freemasonry?
Well, I like to play golf, and I like to relax here in my backyard in Florida in my pool. I pretty much go in there every day, and oh, I enjoy. I'm a movie buff. Uh, Tom LeBon and I often trade off. Tom LeBon, past executive officer of Pennsylvania, and I gave him his start. He was my state scribe, so I taught him everything he knows. So anyway, Tom LeBon and I are good buds, and we talk about old movies all the time. He'll he'll text me and say, "Oh, there's an Earl Flynn movie on Turner Classic Movies tonight or something," and I enjoy that, and I enjoy reading
How good
and
are you at
baseball.
baseball?
Not your team, the other New York team.
Well, the Yankees actually started to do better after you were here. Maybe you're their good luck charm. Maybe come October,
Maybe,
if they're there,
or,
you
or
know.
or maybe your Mets good luck rubbed off on me and I brought it back to the Yankees. But I know it's early, but a Subway Series would be cool.
Hmm. How good are you? Or how good are you at golf?
I'm terrible, and I just love to play. Hopefully, I get better. Um, now that I live on a golf course, I'm going to be taking some lessons. Hopefully, I get a little better because I really only played a handful of times a year at the various tournaments. I didn't really get a much chance to play. But with golf, you make one good, terrific shot, and that's what brings you back, even though your game wasn't good.
when when you were executive officer, you had multiple state master counselors, and although state master counselors might have their differences and their different views or different ideas, what was something that was the same about every state master counselor you were executive officer for?
Well, I served for 5 years, so I had five state master counselors during that period, and all of them had a similar dedication and work ethic, to get the job done. They were all good, and they were all good differently, and what they brought to the table. Some were better speakers, some were better, writers and working in the background. But as as state master council, you get thrown up front a lot, and those that weren't the best speaker at the beginning became pretty good, during the term. But yeah, I'd say they all had the same deep in their heart dedication to DeMolay.
Since you have been a DeMolay, what has been the best lesson that you've learned?
Oh gosh, just what people told me years ago when I was a DeMolay, that the friends you have now are probably going to be the closest friends you have in life. And that's very true with me. I mentioned Tom LeBon, very close with my deputy state master counselor, Randy Keach, who lives in South Carolina. We visited him 2 months ago, and we keep in touch, probably text every couple of days, jokes and things. By the way, my state seventh preceptor, I don't know if you know him, is a fellow named Paul Mossberg.
Might
I'm
have
not
heard of
sure
them
what happened to him. Yeah, I think he's still involved with DeMolay.
somewhat.
But yeah, those friendships. Stephen Ashman, his dad, Mark Ashman, was one of my state officers. We lost him too early in life. Bill Anderson, very close friend. Billy was a state appointed officer for me. So yeah, those are the things, the friendships, and the networking that you make through friends, not only throughout the United States, but I've got friends, from various countries, thanks to DeMolay and Freemasonry.
And one last question. Um, Having gone through all the offices, master counselor at Clifton, deputy state master counselor, state master counselor, what advice would you give to any young DeMolay aspiring to do the same?
Well, I would say just give 100%. Do your job. In other words, don't start out as a state junior counselor and say, I'm going to be executive officer someday. No, you've got to do your job each step of the way and give it 100%. And then other things happen because people say to me, how did you become Sovereign Grand Commander? Which is probably between the Southern jurisdiction and the Northern jurisdiction, the top two Masonic jobs in the country. And I said, you must have planned that a long time ago. I said, no, all I did was my job and gave it 100% on each job. And then the next opportunity kind of arose. So there's no magic bullet or anything like that. It's just, I'm lucky because every DeMolay and Masonic job I ever had, I enjoyed, and that's a key. I've enjoyed every one.
Well, thank you for your time, Dad Glatley. I hope you're enjoying Florida. Today it's a little muggy and humid, but I hope down there in Florida it's beautiful as always. I know you're a great mentor for me and for the state officers and many people here in New Jersey. Uh, we always look forward to seeing you, and I hope that you had a great time today at this interview, and we hope to see you very soon.
Well, thank you. I appreciate being included, and I know I'll see some of you in Orlando for the DeMolay Congress, and I look forward to seeing you.
Thank you, Dad Glatley.
Thank you, Andrew. You take care.
You too. All right, we're going to take our first break as we set up our next interview. So please give us a few minutes.
All right, everyone. So what we're going to be doing now is we're going to be doing a little interview session of our State Master Counselor here. So all of us here have prepared some questions for him. So my first question for you, Andrew, is so you have two other siblings, me and we have a sister. So who do you think is the best sibling that you have?
Does the dog count?
No, we have to pick one of us.
Well, you see, is a very political answer. You both are great siblings in your own right. You both do a lot of great things. Daniel, you are a computer science major, and you did help me in a lot of my computer science homework this year, and I
Meaning
thank you.
I did all of it.
Sure. My teacher did say that my codes were very high level for his class, so he complimented me, and I did give you credit to him. I said, well, my brother helped me a little bit. Anne Marie, she's cool, I guess.
I guess.
She's just like a big sister or something. She picks on me a lot. She kind of like hits me and stuff and makes fun of me, but like I make fun of her. I don't hit my sister. That's not cool. So to answer the favorite sibling, I don't have one.
That's cool. All right. So who's next?
Who's next?
All right.
Roman.
I don't know anything about this team, but who is your favorite Mets player?
My favorite Met. Well, the easy answer is Jacob deGrom.
Who?
Jacob deGrom is the best pitcher in baseball, but he's hurt right now, and he's not pitching right now. But when he will be pitching, he'll be lights out. He throws about 101 mile an hour fastball, 95 mile an hour slider, 92 mile an hour changeup. He's unhittable. You actually can't hit him. So he's my favorite Met. But like right now, out of those who are playing, probably Travis Jankowski, because nobody knows him. He just is like a pinch runner because he's fast. So they put him in late in the game to play defense and to run the bases. So probably Travis Jankowski is my favorite Met player that's not hurt.
Nice.
Thank you. Frank.
How's it going, Andrew?
Doing pretty good.
Now, I know you're an avid fan of Ritual, and you've been doing a lot of flower talks lately. I just wanted to ask you, what's your favorite ritual or event is, and why?
My favorite piece of ritual is the Ceremony of Light. It's the first ceremony that I've learned, and I've perfected it. I got a perfect score at Maytalk earlier this year, so I'm kind of retired in competing with it. But my favorite ritual to, I guess, in like privately would be Jacques DeMolay. I love the Jacques DeMolay part. I've only performed it once, but at Keyman, that was a great time.
Awesome.
Yeah, it's my favorite private piece of ritual to do.
Gotcha. Thank you.
Thank you. Hi, Max.
Now here's a question. You say bozo quite a bit. Now, why is that?
So, as said before, at spring honors class this year, it was like we were supposed to get to the Grand Lodge building at 8 a.m. And at 3:30 in the morning, one of our members texted in a group chat. It's like, "Where do we park here?" and we were like, "What do you mean park here? It's 3 o'clock in the morning." So I'm looking at Google Maps, and there's no parking. So that's where bozo started, and it's kind of funny to say. So I just say bozo, and I call people bozos now. So it's kind of cool.
Okay, bozo.
I guess I'm up. Okay.
Hi.
Hi there. Let's go with a non-controversial question. Who's your favorite appointed state officer?
My favorite appointed state officer? Great non-controversial question.
Yeah.
I have a few of them standing here. I know Cameron is on his way.
But he's not here.
They all do a lot of work. They are all great DeMolays in their own right. Roman has his license, but he says he can't park, so he refuses to drive. How do you get your license? You don't know how to park your car. Max drives everywhere. Max does everything. Frank is cool. Frank does a lot of work. Ryan does some work too, and with Cameron, yeah, he kind of Cameron's Cameron, to put it that way. But he's a pretty good state officer. So I'm not going to answer your question. I'm going to be very political and say that they are all great appointed state officers.
Yeah, but if you had to pick one.
If I had to pick one, I would appoint someone and then make them my favorite state appointed
You
state
just
officer.
point or someone random.
Someone random.
Oh, okay.
So yeah,
All right. I guess that
Oh.
answers that question.
Val, you're up.
Brother State Master Counselor,
Yes.
you have about less than a month left in your term.
Dang.
How do you feel that this term has progressed, and how do you feel about what comes next?
Well, the term has progressed very well. Not only have I think I've grown as a leader, but I've seen the other state officers grow as leaders as well. I've seen Dan in the last few months take big strides because he's running for state master counselor. He's taken great strides to become a great state master counselor. The term has progressed great. I've made great friends with all the state officers, and you're gonna make me cry on stream, so I'm gonna end it right there. I've had a great year, and I'm gonna be sad come convention when I'm done, and I'm no longer a state officer, but I'll still be around until March as an active DeMolay, and then become an advisor and drive Clifton chapter members down to convention, which will be pretty fun. So thank you, Val, for that great question.
Say hi to Lars in chat.
Hi, Lars.
So Andrew, I have another question.
All right, we got about 4 minutes.
Okay.
Let's make this the last question, Dan.
All right, this is the last question. Okay, so you've had, many events this year. Which one is your favorite? Was your favorite to run?
My favorite event this year was probably the cookie bake-off that we did. We had a charity cookie bake-off event. We invited the Rainbow Assemblies here in New Jersey. Many chapters came and participated. The state officers had a team. All the Rainbow Assemblies had teams. And it was a very fun time. We got to bake cookies and meet, rainbows and hang out with our DeMolays. And it was very fun. Now, okay, our cookies came in third?
I think.
And
so,
I
yeah.
think it's because Dad Mossberg purposely undercooked our cookies because my recipe was like superb. Dad Mossberg says he likes chewy cookies, so I think he just sabotaged us so we wouldn't win. But I digress. It's Dad Mossberg. He's pretty cool. Thank you.
So I guess that's it for Andrew. We're gonna take another little break so we can set up the next interview.
Cool.
said two.
Yeah.
Okay.
This is not even a good point. All right, so we're here with the Grandmaster, Dad Monticelli, and yeah, gonna ask him some questions. How are you doing today?
I refuse to answer that question on the grounds that it might incriminate me. Was that a good start?
um,
I'm doing fine. Thank you.
all right. So, starting off, how about where's the best place you to get pizza in Brooklyn?
In Brooklyn,
Yeah, like where's your favorite place to
considering
go to
that
get pizza?
I've moved out of Brooklyn in 1969, but the
Oh,
best place to get pizza in Brooklyn was on Avenue U and East 9th Street. It was near the train,
mhm.
the elevated train. But that was the best place to get pizza in Brooklyn
Where do you live now?
when I was in Brooklyn. Hackettstown.
Oh, okay. All right. So
And the
where's
best
your
place to get pizza in Hackettstown is Mama's.
all right.
Or you could go to Da Vinci's in Brooklyn and get good pizza.
All right. What do you plan on doing once your term ends?
Taking a break. I'll do anything that's needed in the fraternity. Um, Dave Tucker and Lenny have great ideas and programs, and anything I can do to help them,
Mhm.
I'll do. And I'll stay active with the Scottish Rite and with DeMolay, but to give me a little bit more time to devote to Scottish Rite and to DeMolay.
All right. Speaking of free time, how much of your free time do you spend golfing?
I don't golf. I'm one of the few guys around that
Really?
doesn't golf.
Hmm.
Yeah, I ride around in the golf cart and watch everybody else. But yeah, no, I've never been a golfer.
Interesting.
Yeah, in high school I was a track man, and in college I played intercollegiate soccer.
Mm-hmm. Uh, you're a Yankees fan, right?
Absolutely.
And how you liking their season so far?
They're doing all right. They're
Mm-hmm.
doing okay.
Right.
I remember, you got to understand. So I go back to Mantle and Maris, 61 and 61. That's how far back I've been a Yankee fan. So when Roger Maris hit the 61 home runs, and there was the home run derby between Mickey Mantle and Roger Maris. So
Right, yeah, you
it
come
was
back then.
just a little bit.
Alright, let's see. So yeah, you talked
Now let
about.
me ask
Oh,
you a question.
all right, yeah,
Let
go
me
for it.
ask you a quick question. Who is the greatest catcher of all times?
Greatest catcher of all time. Well, I could say someone like Yogi Berra. Most World Series wins as a catcher.
Johnny Bench.
Or could say someone like Andrew's over here saying Johnny Bench.
Johnny Bench.
He his opinion's Johnny Bench, but yeah, I could say Yogi
Yogi.
Berra. Yeah, I could say Yogi.
Yogi.
You could make an argument for like Gary Carter.
Gary Carter was great. Johnny Bench was great. Yogi has the most rings.
Yeah.
And when you look at all of the World Series games that he caught
Mm,
and won with the pitchers that he had,
yeah.
and he was the catcher when Don Larson threw his perfect game. So that's I would have to say Yogi,
Yeah. Yeah.
even though I am a Yankee fan, it was Yogi.
Oh, Yogi was on the Yankees for a bit.
Yeah, for about 25
Yeah.
years.
Yeah.
Did you know that Yogi Berra was in the Navy and Yogi Berra participated in the D-Day landings in 1944 in France.
I did not know that.
Yeah, Yogi Berra was a Navy man, and he was on these ships called rocket boats. They were kind of like PT boats, and he was off Omaha Beach in Normandy on June 6th, 1944. But anyway, that's just a little piece of Yankee trivia.
Yeah, that's interesting. You you mentioned wanting to like support DeMolay more once you're out of office. What do you think is most important about DeMolay?
It shapes the characters of young men, gives them the confidence they need in life.
Hmm.
It's not only in the fraternity and masonry should they continue, but it helps mold them into good, responsible citizens. And I have watched a lot of you grow up in DeMolay, and watching, no offense, but watching scared little boys coming in and leaving DeMolay as senior DeMolays as brilliant, accomplished young men. So that's what I why I support DeMolay, because it does mold character and turns young men, actually it turns boys into great young men. So
Yeah. And what ways do you think the relationship between DeMolay and Masonry like benefit each other?
well, obviously DeMolay is a where we can draw from to get more members.
Yeah.
But for Masons to work with DeMolay, it it keeps you young, keeps you thinking young, because you learn about the way that the young people think. All right, I'm a baby boomer. All right, the 1950s, 1960s. So when you're dealing with, or interacting is a better word, when you're interacting with millennials,
Hmm.
you're learning a lot from them, and hopefully they can learn from you, from your life experiences. But you also understand, you start to understand where they're coming from and their thought process.
Right.
So that's why I think it's
Yeah.
important.
Do you think there's any ways that we could increase that interaction we have with the two organizations? Like, is there anything you think we could do better or more to help each other out?
We could have uh, get some more chapters started. I know that's tough, but
Yeah.
if we could get some more chapters up and running, because you get the chapter in a lodge building, and then the lodge and the chapter begin to interact,
Hmm.
and that helps both organizations. But we can do more together. Just
So
a
just
lot that
more.
we could.
Uh, yeah, finish. Sorry.
No, there's a lot. There's a lot that the Masons can, the Blue Lodges and Grand Lodge can do for DeMolay and the districts also. And DeMolay can teach us a whole lot too. I was out at your Congress last year, and I went into the session where you fellas elected your leaders,
Hmm.
and we, the adults, all stood around the room and watched. We didn't participate. We didn't dictate what to do. It was all up to you.
Hmm.
And it was amazing to watch how you handle yourselves. So I'm very, very impressed with DeMolay and what it does for the young men.
So you just think that there should be more awareness on the side of masonry about DeMolay, so that more there's more interaction of masons into DeMolay.
Yes,
Right?
yes. And wherever I go, I'm wearing my DeMolay Legion of Honor ring. And people say, well, what is that? And I explain it's a DeMolay Legion of Honor, and I explain what DeMolay is, and get a lot of positive responses.
Yeah, that's
But I'm
good to
very,
hear.
very proud that I'm a legionnaire. Very proud.
Well, thank you for the advertisement. Yeah.
You're welcome.
Uh, is there anything specific that made you want to become Grandmaster? Like, was there one big thing that you like, yeah, happened or you saw and you went, yeah, I want to do that?
Dave Chase, most worshipful Dave Chase. Um, Dave called me up one day and he said, Bob, we've been talking to some of the past grandmasters among ourselves, and we feel that you would be a good candidate for junior grand warden. And he was very encouraging, and I had support and guidance from Dave while he was still with us, and Bob Miller while he was still with us, and Ray Bellini, Doug Policastro, John Ryan. They all helped mold me to where I am now, guide me to where I am now. But David Chase was the man who started this journey to become Grandmaster.
All right. And is there any advice that you would give your younger self?
Excuse me, you broke
Any
up there. Any what?
Is there any advice you would give your younger self?
Advice I'd give my younger self? Join DeMolay, definitely. And spend a little bit more time on the books and a little less time on the soccer field. But other than that, I have to thank Masonry. I joined when I was 25 years old, and I've been a Mason now 47 years, and it's helped mold me into the man that I am today. But I would have joined had there been a DeMolay chapter in Brooklyn where I was. I would have joined definitely.
Mhm.
Looking back.
So yeah, you only regret not joining DeMolay when you were, a teenager.
No, we didn't have a DeMolay chapter. I was a good little Catholic boy,
Oh,
so
there
we
was
had the
no
Boy
DeMolay
Scouts.
chapter.
There was
Uh,
no DeMolay chapter where I was in Brooklyn.
Interesting. Um, Besides that, is there anything you'd like to say to any the young men watching today?
Yes, guys, you are the future of the fraternity. You are the future of this country. You're the future of the world. Apply yourselves, learn the lessons that DeMolay teaches, study, become successful, and remember, become good men. If you continue on in the fraternity, good Masons and good citizens.
All right. I think we're about ready on time, so I think I'm gonna switch
Okay.
this to a break.
Then
And
thank you very much,
yeah,
and God bless everybody out there.
right, yeah. Thank you, Dad Monticelli.
Hello, everyone. I'm here with Andrew Castor, the International Congress Secretary. Uh, Andrew, please tell us a little about yourself. All right. So, as your movement from a state counselor or state officer to an international officer, what were some of the challenges you had to face? What were like the changes and like things you had to overcome and learn to be able to fill the role? Okay. Is is it muted? Is it muted? Uh, uh, I was I think the desktop on. Is it this? Okay. Um, as as the since the term is almost coming to an end, how do you feel that the how do you feel it has progressed thus far, and what what were your goals, and have you like what were the expectations and the realities you had to face?
I think one of the hardest things that I realized is we're not able to do everything we wanted to purely because of our bylaws and the way it's set up. But I think that what we were able to accomplish, well, we're able to do everything we wanted to. That was the wrong phrasing, and that's my fault I said that. But we had to wait a little longer to do it because we have to send proposals to the International Supreme Council through legislation. But I think the goals and the way the term progressed from the beginning of the year to now, it's been leaps and bounds.
I fix it. You could,
It's been leaps and bounds, and I'm loving every second of it. And I'm excited to see what the youth are going to do for the last 2 months.
uh, the in the last 2 years, DeMolay sort of had a membership crisis, and how do you feel? What changes should DeMolay do, or what improvements should we like look to have to try to solve this membership problem?
I think solving the membership problem starts at the chapter level again. It's really going to come down to people just having fun and enjoying DeMolay. I think if you have fun in DeMolay and just bring your friends and show them what it's about, then that'll slowly solve the membership crisis. I don't think there's a one-all solution for everywhere. I think you have to figure out what works best for your chapter and what you guys enjoy, and then start bringing in your friends that also enjoy those things. And that could help the membership solution. But if people need help with finding those ideas or coming up with unique ideas, feel free to reach out to people. Reach out to me, Cade, you, just state officers, and get to know people. That's how we're ultimately going to work together to fix the crisis. And I think if we work together, then we become unstoppable because we can get DeMolay back to the level it was in the 80s. And I think that's very, very possible if we just continue to push ourselves.
We were muted for the portion of when you were talking about the state officer level versus the international level. So could you briefly touch up on that again?
Yeah. So being a state officer versus an international officer, they're really similar in a lot of ways. The travel aspect of it's definitely a lot different, and it becomes a little more taxing on your body, and you get tired and you get worn out a little more. But no, I love it. If you take the skills you learn as a state officer and you hone those, and they pretty easily transition to the international level, and that's your core foundation. So be a state officer, enjoy that experience, and then if you really want to run for international, there's no harm in running because it's an experience, and you get to translate your skills you learn throughout your DeMolay career into being that position.
Our next question focuses on disabilities. I know that a couple of DeMolays I know have disabilities. I know the Shriners have dyslexic centers that we continue to support. So how do you think DeMolay should be like working to cater towards DeMolays with disabilities, and how we could like uh, bring them in and support and show compassion?
So for those of you who actually don't know, I have dyslexia personally. It's something that I struggle with, and it's really an emotional challenge at a lot of times. One of the best things you can do for those members that struggle is make them feel included. You don't want to be there criticizing them because they weren't able to do something, or because they weren't always on top of it like they should have been. Because one of the things for me personally that happens, and I know it happens to a few other people, let's say you're learning ritual, a piece that might take you 10 minutes takes me 20. And it's a double time situation. I think making those brothers that have those struggles feel included and welcome in a safe space is ultimately the best thing you can do for them.
So what do you think is the most rewarding thing being the International Congress Secretary?
The most rewarding thing has to be seeing the smiles on people's faces just when I take 10 minutes to talk to them, or when they meet me, being like, yo, that's who that is. It's a cool feeling. And I'd be lying if I said that wasn't my favorite part. Is that a little selfish? Yes. But I think inspiring people and getting to know people on a personal level is definitely my favorite part. Recently, while I was in Washington, they brought in a motivational speaker, and he had this whole thing called "Because I Said I Would." His name's Alex. I don't know if I can show it on the book. Okay, I can't find that. Besides the point, he brought in this whole thing because I said I would. It's all about keeping a promise is his mission, and a young man, 12-year-old, came up to me. And so with these promise cards that you give, here's one. These are the promise cards. Okay, that's not gonna focus. It's just a white card that says "Because I Said I Would." Pretty simple. And the kid came up to me, handed me one that said, "I'm gonna be a state officer." And it's like, you keep it. You're supposed to keep it until that happens so you can give it back to them. So in return, I was able to hand him one that said, "I'll be there when you go in." And that was like a really cool and inspiring moment for me. So doing that, I feel like, is probably the best benefit of being an international officer, but also for me, my favorite part.
Cool. Yeah, keeping promises is a very good motivational thing to do. So how do you pass time, or how do you manage time while you're like traveling a lot all around the United States or wherever, and like prioritizing like DeMolay or like other things that you have to organize?
Well, I should start off by saying when I'm physically traveling, I like to sleep on the plane. That's one of my favorite things to do. But no, for real, it's definitely hard keeping track of time zones. So having a calendar is really important, and being able to schedule out your time and work on that. But otherwise, I think managing your time is ultimately, it comes down to how you do it best. It's just something you got to be able to work around pretty flexibly being an international officer with a flexible schedule. But it's definitely doable to do it in school. That would be, I feel Cade was able to do it, and it really impressed me. I know I personally can't do school and DeMolay. That's why I took a gap year this year, and that's okay. School will always be there, and I am heading to school next year, which we talked about briefly before this. I just committed to the University of Alabama. But I think you can manage your time in a way that's effective for you while still allowing you to do the things you want to.
Okay. And last question. What advice would you give to aspiring DeMolays looking to reach levels like International Congress Secretary or International Master Council?
To the 12-year-old that's watching this, I'm going to give advice at multiple levels. To the 12-year-old that's watching this, it's okay to get burnt out and take a break. It's okay to come back after a year, after you find something you enjoy. I know when I was 16, I found rugby and I started playing rugby, and I didn't show up to DeMolay for like a year. But then once I was able to show up again, it reignited my passion, was able to propel me to be in the spot where I am today. So it's okay to take a break and live your life outside of DeMolay. I think another thing is school will always be there. DeMolay won't to anyone. But school's still important. I don't want to preference that message that school's not important, because it absolutely is. But the biggest piece of advice I would give is stay humble and just keep pushing yourself, know your goals, and really determine if it's for you or if it's not for you. Because if you don't want to put in the energy that it's going to take to be able to get up at 6 a.m. multiple weekends in a row on a Saturday to get on a plane, then maybe this isn't the job for you. But aspiring wise, you can do it. There's nothing stopping you. Anyone is capable of this job as long as you have the passion for it.
All right. Well, thank you, Andrew. I think you answered the questions very eloquently. All the DeMolays that are here watching or will watch it in the future will get really good advice from everything you've said. And I hope you feel better. And we're going to move on to break.
Thank you, guys. Thank you for having me. And I look forward to seeing you soon.
And we're back, everyone. Uh, before we get started with our next interview, I want to say that so far we have $370 donated to No Kid Hungry, which is outstanding. At $500 is our goal. And if we do reach our goal, I have said publicly, I do own a white dress, so I will put on the white dress for the rest of the stream. So hopefully we can make that happen. With us here right now is our International Master Counselor, Cade Lawrence. Cade, give a little bit of an introduction about yourself.
Yeah, it's great to be here, everyone. Very happy I could be on here with New Jersey. I've known the Gonzalez brothers for quite a while now. But yeah, I'm the International Master Counselor for DeMolay International. I'm a student at the University of Georgia. I'm 19, and I've been part of DeMolay now for 8 years. So I'm very happy that I'm able to finish off my term with you guys here on this live stream. I'm looking forward to some of the questions you guys are going to ask me. I've got 1 month left in my term, so we're really kind of taking home here in this last month. And I'm looking forward to a great summer with DeMolay.
Me and you both, Cade, we both got a month left. I'm dreading convention. Yeah. It's not going to be fun for me. First question is, why was it your dream to become the International Master Counselor?
You know, Andrew, it really started actually at the very beginning of my DeMolay journey. When I was first initiated, I met James Hawkins, past International Master Counselor from Georgia. He came up to our conclave, and he and I sat down for quite a while, and he just told me everything that DeMolay meant to him and everything that he did, and just what his daily life looked like with DeMolay. And I was enthralled with it. I thought it was just the most fascinating thing. You know, I loved DeMolay from the very beginning. I loved watching the ritual work, so I really kind of took that as part of my own, and I love sitting down and reading and studying the ritual. You know, I loved getting along with my guys, and just every day DeMolay's love built up more and more for me. And I just thought, what better way could I serve the organization that I love so much than stepping up and running for the office of International Master Counselor.
Yeah, you and I both. I fell in love with DeMolay instantly. You started a DeMolay chapter down in Chattanooga, Tennessee. What was it like to take the lead in starting a brand new DeMolay chapter from scratch?
Honestly, it was incredibly difficult. It started out with just myself. I had before this been going up to Sequatchie Valley, Tennessee. I was master counselor of that chapter, and I was a part of that chapter actively for about 4 years. You know, I was really close to the guys, and I loved them. And it was a large chapter. In 2014, it was the 4th largest growing chapter in the world. We had quite a few guys, and you know, it was pretty active. But it was also an hour drive with a time zone difference, so it kind of made it difficult on school to go every second or fourth Monday, and then a couple times in between. Then each month to go to chapter meetings and events. So I decided I wanted to start my own chapter in Chattanooga. It took some hoops to bounce through. I started by I had a close relationship with the potentate at the shrine then, and I approached him and I asked him if he would be willing to sponsor the chapter. So I spoke with their board of directors, and I presented all the information about DeMolay and what we were, and why we would like to be part of the be sponsored by the shrine. Eventually, we were sponsored. From then on out, we had a few extra guys who lived in the area who could help come do initiations. So we brought in the first 2 years about, I think, either 12 or 14 guys. I think it was about 12 guys, actually. We brought in 12 guys. And then, you know, COVID really kind of hit us with a hard turn. That was definitely the hardest part. But we still kept active. We, even during COVID, we would do some long hikes together, and still trying to keep active over Zoom. But you know, it was hard. It was very difficult at times. Trying to wrangle in guys who were all younger than me and try and step up in a role that wasn't just leading but also mentoring. But you know what? It was was probably the greatest experience of my DeMolay career. It was extremely fulfilling, and it really kind of brought me into a newer relationship with DeMolay that I'm really now starting to appreciate with this role as International Master Counselor, which is not just stepping up and being the face guy, not just stepping up and being the leader of the body, but taking another role and also at times stepping back and letting the next guy kind of lead and move on and do things a little differently, and just stepping back and being the mentor, the big brother, a little bit giving advice here and there. So this has been, with Effie Anderson, my chapter, the greatest experience of my DeMolay career, to be honest with you. My closest friends in this world are in my chapter.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but did you earn a Zerubbabel key for starting that chapter?
So, not quite. We are still actually one member short, I think, of our official charter.
Okay.
Like I said, when COVID hit, it hit hard. We weren't allowed to do initiations for a year. And so it was really difficult to kind of get the chapter back together. We had a couple guys age out. And so that's kind of what we're doing right now. We're really pushing, trying to get the chapter back on track. I'm actually going and installing my brother as master counselor of the chapter here coming up in about 2 weeks. And we're hoping to have a pretty decent initiation to get our official charter. I hope, maybe I'll get the Zerubbabel key, but that's not why I do it. That'd be cool, but it's not really that important to me. You know what I mean?
Yeah. You've been traveling a lot this year as International Master Counselor, and you being from Tennessee, living in Georgia now, what's what's the most interesting cultural difference that you found maybe in a different part of the country, maybe in a different part of the world, that just stands out to you being so different from the Southeast United States?
Sure. I'll stick specifically to DeMolay for this topic, because if I went into all the cultural differences that I've seen across the world, we'd be here for hours. So it has been very interesting to travel across, different jurisdictions. I've gone as far west as California. I've gone as far north as, I think, Chicago or Rochester, Minnesota. I think those were my two most northern. I've traveled to, I think, I traveled to 7 different regions so far within DeMolay. And it's been incredible because when I went to California, they did things, Northern California and Southern California, both jurisdictions there did things completely differently, much less, completely different from how I do it in Tennessee and Georgia. I've got to say, I'm going to give you a list. A couple of the biggest ones have been seeing DeMolay ritual differences in probably Southern and Northern California, just how they do ritual just a touch differently in their acting, especially for the DeMolay degree. I've got to say, Region 5 has a very interesting dynamic. That would be the North Midwest. They have an interesting thing where in almost every circumstance, or at least 50 to 70% of the time, they don't call their advisors by dad last name. They call them by dad first name, or even sometimes leave out the dad part and just call them first name. It's a very casual relationship with their advisors, and very respectful, but also very different than what I'm used to. So that was a big difference. Region 7 has a really close bond with all their guys that I thought was just incredible, despite just how widespread out the Rocky Mountain Range is, and how disconnected they are sometimes just in distance. I thought that was really incredible. It's really hard to pin down which one has the most significant cultural differences, but they all do DeMolay differently. It's sometimes just little things like differences of ritual. It's sometimes things just differences in programs, different ways of bringing in donations, and just for example, there's one other difference in Ohio. every single one of their state officers, they have a 15, I think 12 or 15 person state officer corps. They all wear the white dinner jackets, which I know you guys, I think, do in New Jersey, don't you?
Yeah, the elected officers, we
So
wear
that,
white.
right. So that to me is just completely different. And it was actually fun while I was in Ohio. I'm good friends with their past state master councilor, Logan Willicke. I ended up staying at his house for a weekend when I would visit at their convention. And he and I are actually about the same height and same build. I think you know Logan, don't you?
Maybe.
From Ohio, tall redhead guy.
Yeah.
Anyways, he and I are about the same size, so he actually had an extra white dinner jacket, so I got to kind of participate in that with them. It was pretty cool.
You talked about like different ritual differences. When Dan and I were in Escape to Florida for the DeMolay degree, or the initiatory degree, sorry. In New Jersey, we walk around the chapter room with our left arm behind our back, and it was weird to me to see nobody else doing that. So that kind of threw me off a little bit. What do you like most about being International Master Counselor?
That's a really good question because it's just such a full answer. I love my role. I love it entirely. It's been, challenging at times, as every role is. I'm sure you understand. In DeMolay, there's good moments and there's some harder moments. But overall, I've had, I think, probably the greatest experience of my life. I love serving not only as their national master counselor, but also on the board of directors because I get to have a little bit of a different role in the board of directors of getting to help push proposals and new ideas for DeMolay as a whole and help maybe resolve a couple issues here and there that might come up. But as their national master counselor, I think the probably greatest thing about it has just been the connection I've been able to make with the young men and just seeing what kind of encouragement that I can give somebody who's perhaps younger than me or maybe in a tough time in their life. I actually had a young man the other day from a jurisdiction I visited a couple months back. He reached out to me. He said, "Cade, I'm going to be honest with you. I'm in a really rough moment in my life right now. My girlfriend, I think, is going to break up with me. I've torn my ACL playing football. And, I was hoping to get a scholarship and go to school doing D2 or D1 football. This guy, he's just falling apart right now at the seams. And, looking back on it, he was a few years younger than I am. I remember being in that moment. I remember being 16 and feeling like my whole life was in turmoil and everything was shutting down. I remember being, going through that weird transition in life where you're not quite a man, but you're not quite just a boy. So getting to talk with him and encourage him a little bit and give him insight on some of the things that I've had to learn the hard way, that to me has been probably the greatest part of all of it. At the end of every single one of my speeches that I try and do at a jurisdictional conclave or convention or whatever it may be, where I've gotten to sit down and talk with the young men and get to know them a little bit, I always try and find a 12 or 13-year-old or 14-year-old who I think really is pushing themselves to try and, come out of their shell and be, a little bit more, a little bit more social, try and do a little bit more of the ritual, someone who's really pushing themselves in DeMolay to try and become a better person and let it better them. And I try and find one young man like that. And I get up and at the end of my speech, I take off my collar and I say, there's one young man that's truly impressed me. And I go through some of their achievements. I go through some of the things that I like that they're doing. I think that they're doing well. And I ask them to come up on stage and I collar them with my collar. And that's for a couple reasons. But the most important is to show that the collar, the International Master Counselor role, it's not about the honors. It's not about being a dignitary. It's not about, going in there and wearing the fancy regalia and, being special. The biggest part about it is that you're serving DeMolay and that can be anyone. It can be you or I who stand up here as the leaders of the body, or it could be the young man who's 12 or 13 who's doing everything he can to be good and do well in his chapter, who's pushing himself and pushing his limits. So it's not, it's about serving DeMolay. It's about bettering yourself. So getting those little connections with young men, here and there across the world, and just building the bonds and the friendships and the memories that I've had this year, that's been the best part of being International Master Counselor.
I know family plays a big part in DeMolay for you as well as I. My dad's a senior DeMolay. My brother and I, we're twins, but yet he's still my younger brother. And it's great to see him soon to become state master counselor. For you, your younger brothers are all in DeMolay, and you said earlier that you're going to install your younger brother as master counselor. What is it like for you to see your brothers go through DeMolay with you being 19, aging out next year, and what's it like seeing them progress through the chapter ranks?
So I love this question actually, Andrew, because it's so much, and you understand this, I'm sure. It's so much more than just making your own organization when it becomes something that's just as important to your younger brother. So my two youngest brothers, their names are Chasen and Creed. They're both not old enough to be in DeMolay yet. Chasen is 10; he's a squire, and Creed is 4 years old. So I got him a little shirt actually while I was at Job's Daughters that said "Future DeMolay." These guys, they're just as active in the chapter as I think anyone. These two younger ones, but for Cohen, the 15-year-old brother, Cohen was my state scribe last year, actually, and I was actually able to bring him in to DeMolay. I initiated him. I was the first person to install him into the chapter, and to me, it's been incredibly enriching. Cohen is one of my closest friends in the world, and we're extremely, we have got a close bond. I'm sure you understand that with having a twin younger brother. It kind of it makes you feel like DeMolay isn't just it makes you feel like DeMolay isn't just for yourself and people who aren't in your close circle. It doesn't make you feel like you're serving or helping or being a part of a group that's about others. It makes you feel like you're part of a group that's just within your own life. It makes it so much closer and so much deeper. Watching Cohen go through this, I'll be honest with you, I bawled at his initiation because, beginning to put him through it and getting to let him have the opportunities that I've had and give him the experience that I've had, which has been so much to me, and watching him do it his own way, it's just been incredibly. I know I said this word a few times, but it's been enriching. It's beautiful. It really is. Cohen is running for state junior this year of our jurisdiction, and getting to watch him do his own way of campaigning, his own way of helping build the chapter and do things his way. It's given me a completely new perspective on DeMolay.
All right, one last question. You go to the University of Georgia, and their football team just won the national championship. What was it like being a part of the school and being a student at the national championship school?
So it was probably one of the strangest, most incredible moments of my life, to be honest with you. I remember when that last pick six happened. I remember most people were out watching it, not in the dorm room, but I was watching it in my dorm room with some friends of mine. I remember not only did we all scream, but we heard everyone else, even just the trail of voices all across the dorm just screaming. It felt like the entire little world we have in Athens just blew up. I went downtown Athens that night, and there was thousands of people just crowding the streets. Cars couldn't get by. I mean, the whole place was just a torn up mess. I remember, there's people dancing up on light poles. I remember there were people like blowing air horns everywhere, loud music. I mean, the whole place, it was just a roar of noise and loud music and people screaming, dancing. It was incredible. It was one of the most enjoyable moments of my life. I had people jumping up on me, screaming, yelling, cheering. It was awesome. I got to lead actually in a couple chants to get kind of the 200 people around in my little area, all riled up and having fun. But it was awesome. It really was. It was a great moment. It was a great moment in my life, and to have that happen my freshman year is almost a little bittering, because if they don't win the next 3 years, it's almost like can't really beat freshman year.
Well, I thank the University of Georgia for producing Evan Neal, one of the Giants' first round draft picks. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, brother International Master Counselor, for joining us today. It was great to interview you. Great to get into your mind a little bit about DeMolay. And from our chat, we did reach our goal of $500. So that's great. Thank you all. Thank you all for joining. Val's back there waving the white dress. Quickly, before we end the interview section, I just want to thank Salam Shrine of Shriners International for hosting us, allowing us to use their building. And a thank you to all of our viewers and donors. Keep on donating. The more we raise, the more people we can feed. So with that, we're going to go on break, and we're going to go into the gaming portion of our live stream.
All right, everyone. So as Andrew wanted to show you in his white dress, so Andrew, can you explain? Yeah, Andrew, white dress. Can you explain how you got this
So
dress?
last month, Rainbow had a charity boutique, and everything was $2, and they were donating everything to the Shriners hospitals. So I saw the white dress, and I thought in my head, wouldn't it be funny if during our charity live stream, if we met a goal, I would put the dress on. So I bought the dress for this specific event. I'm glad we reached the goal, but this is actually kind of tight. It's not really comfortable, but I'm in it for the long run.
Okay, cool. So we're gonna be playing a game together. We'll be playing Among Us. So I so I know advisors are not really interested in watching us play games, but if there's any DeMolays out there in the chat, if you want to play with us, just let us know in the chat and we could set that up for you. So okay, so let me add a camera here. Second.
Camera guy, you turning around.
So yeah, so if you guys don't know what Among Us is, it's basically you're on this spaceship, and there is imposters, and they kill you, and basically the group has to figure out who's the imposter and vote them out. So yeah. Well, yeah. By the way, I can't alt tab out, so you just don't look at my screen. Not. I'm trying to get a webcam on right now. Oh, I think it's because. There you go. Not again.
I'm gonna miss out again. I gotta go do a flower talk. Yeah.
All right. So, so I think we're ready to start because we have all 7 of us here. Yes. Yes. So, so the whole point is that while we're playing, no one actually talks, but I'm going to be the one talking because I'm advertising the game. Don't look at my screen. Don't look at my screen. All right.
I wonder if the imposter.
Don't.
Why is my screen red?
All right.
Here, I go with more than one person.
This game is actually really bad. Someone's faking tasks.
Just ask him.
Dan, what's going on?
Very entertaining.
Slatty might be faking tasks.
Our charity stream.
The imposter better start killing people.
Oh.
Alright.
All right.
Who reported?
So I reported it. I found it in Med Bay. I saw whoever this I saw Orange. I was on security cameras and I saw Orange come out of Med Bay like a couple seconds after. So when I ran all the way to Med Bay and I reported it.
Who's orange? Who's orange?
Who's Orange?
French. Is it Frank?
I saw Frank come out of Med Bay on cameras. I was on the cameras. I saw him come out of Med Bay. I went right to Med Bay, and there was a dead body right there. That's good enough.
Sorry, Frank.
Orange.
Orange is sus.
Yes.
Self-report. All right, guys. There's also 5, so we don't have to vote here. or we could have your. I think it's a self-report. Who's laughing like that? Oh wow, Frank left the game. Sad. Dan is acting pretty sus right now. You see?
Is this a task yet? All right. Oh. Oh, 2 more people.
We left.
Look. Okay, where was it?
It was in
Reactor.
Say, he may be dead, but Val watched me open the trash with Patrick. Yeah.
Okay.
I saw Max earlier. We were alone. I was imposter. I would just murdered him.
Okay.
And Dan false accused Frank.
That's sussy.
I mean, I guess so. I lost. So, I lost. Suck at imposter. I didn't know that you put to where it tells you if they're imposter or not. If you voted right.
Yeah.
So there's a setting to where it doesn't tell you if you voted right or not.
All right, I think the pizza might be here.
Okay.
I'm gonna go try to see if we can get it.
Yo, I leveled up and I got some beans. Yo, Cameron, we leveled up and gained some beans. What the is happening?
Yeah, so can you turn that setting off to where you don't know if you voted right or not? Because that makes it better.
So unanimous?
No, unanimous vote I think means that like you don't know who voted for who.
The colors were off.
Yeah, remove. That's what it means. I didn't know you didn't put that on, so I was like, oh man, they got me. All right, we're waiting for everyone else to come back. Yeah, because it's me. I'm wearing the same thing as you.
I saw you, and I was like, I'm gonna die.
Bro, I was seeing you around me.
I thought, who's Sheesh? Who's Sheesh? I thought you saw me come out of the vent, and I was like, oh man. No, I was in the bottom generator when we came to each other. I thought you saw me come out of that event, but you didn't. Yeah, so I was like, oh man, and then I chased after you. You went to cameras, and I chased after you because I thought that you were gonna report me, like do an emergency meeting. But then I went to reactors and killed someone, killed Roman, I think. Oh.
There's two.
Yes. Can I try? Wait, never.
Yeah, we're streaming to people right now. We have 5 people watching.
What's your name?
Ben.
Ben? What's up, Ben? How you doing? I'm Andrew.
Yes, I see everyone wearing either a double top hat or just a normal top hat. The dumb and super squad.
We're glad to be joined by some future new DeMolays with us today. They're going to be joining us and playing Among Us.
Who has cyan?
Yeah, like Minecraft, exactly that.
Who has cyan?
Do you have a
We're gonna play Minecraft.
Not yet. I'm loading.
We're gonna
I just have to get some updates.
We're
that's
gonna
all.
do a speed run together to beat the end of that.
Oh boy, that's.
It's actually gonna be fast though, because it's just like it's just a whole lot. See,
Wait, what's the cyan?
I don't think anybody has signed.
No one's cyan. Wait, what's the code? What's the code? What's the code?
LJT.
What's the code? What's the code? What's the code? Okay. B. LJ. LJ. Yeah, that's my twin right there. TX. Damn, say that
You're both 11?
Yes, we're identical twins.
Nice.
I'm in!
nice.
Teddy really likes Michael Jackson. So
Yeah,
judge him.
John accidentally
Michael Jackson's actually really cool.
I'm equipping some good stuff.
John's equipping
Let's
some
put
good
this
stuff.
Look at me.
That means basically I do like every single person's here who's the imposter.
I gotta.
We need one more person to play.
The imposter because he's got a phone.
Yeah, we need one more.
Actually, look. Then
We need one more
we
person.
did it.
Nice.
This guy actually played. We need one more person in my skin. I'm wearing a military. No, I'm gonna make this look as stupid as possible. That is my goal.
Andrew, you playing?
Yeah.
We need to start.
No, I'm wearing a Viking helmet. I'm wearing a
Wait,
Viking
Val, do you want to play for me or
eye
no?
patch.
I'll play for you.
You'll play for me? Here, take.
Can I take my
Viking helmet with a.
Yeah,
Hey, who's
you
got
can
red?
do whatever you want.
Give me
If
red.
notifications pop up though, don't click them.
Yeah, look at me. Somebody give me red. I am.
It's a computer.
Yeah. Can somebody give
Here,
me
somebody
red?
can take this seat so they don't have to. Make sure you don't look at their computers. That's pretty much it.
Yeah, you can't at the beginning. You can't look at my at the computer because it tells you right away.
Hang on.
All right. Cool.
Wait a minute.
Okay, I think we're good.
Guys, wait.
What's red?
I forget how to change. Oh no.
This is my skin. I made the most terrifying. I made the most terrifying skin I could come up with.
No, don't.
Maybe don't.
We still need one more person. Someone left.
No, fine.
Oh, someone left. Someone. There you go. You come back.
Stop and look away from the monitors.
Yeah, look away from our monitors.
Don't look at other people's screens.
Okay, one imposter. Okay, one imposter. One imposter. Oh, we're going original. Okay. One imposter. We're going original.
It's such a long time since I've Hi there. What the heck? There's already a sabotage? Yep. Already? There's already a sabotage. Someone fix it. Someone fix it. Calm down. What? Someone's dead!
All right, someone was dead in reactor that was trying to fix it. Yes, like 3 of us arrived at the same time to the body. Daniel, on here I'm the blue one.
Valid image. I think this is a self-report.
How I'm the one who reported it. I saw the body. 3 of us went in. 3 of us went in and saw the body. 3 of us went in. 3. Yes, I did not. 3 of us, right? 3 of us went in at the same time and found the body.
I just skipped.
Who's the other one on the other pad? I think it was Cyan that was on the other pad. Who's okay? But when all 3 of us walked in, there was someone that was already in the room. There was someone already in the. I'm trying to get information. There you go.
Don't ask. Oh, no one voted.
Hell, that was a random one too.
I didn't know you were swiping cards, but not on me. No, get away from me.
By the way, I saw one of the cards and one too. Where are you? I'm in the what's it called?
Alright. Who hit that? Teddy! What the heck? Teddy, why? Why?
Okay, I still think.
I don't think it's going to
I still think Cyan's sus because you were already in the room. And the body was on the other side of the room. He was just standing there on the other pad.
What? Watch it. Yeah, watch. Oh, the guy. Yes. What?
Oh my god.
Ben.
Yeah, that was a funny reaction. They were all night. You're so untouchable.
Alright.
I'm following you. I can't. I'm not a fast level.
He behind me!
Relax.
Get away from me! Get away from me! Ben's following me! Ben's following me! Not following me!
Oh my god, this is so annoying.
I'm just following Cameron, so you
Cameron! You're in.
Cam.
Guys, Ben has cameras! Yeah, I got cameras. Quinn's cameras! Stay away from him. Got access. I just Seriously, why is nobody getting over the dude? Don't get 10 seconds, guys. Right. 8 seconds. 7, 6. Someone get it! 5. Someone get it. Get it.
Okay, she let 20 out.
Sheesh, come on, sheesh.
Oh,
You're literally saying that. Oh, we need one more person. One more. There you go. Now you can start the next game. All right.
Ronnie gets you to start. Okay? Good. I do something. Get away! Get away! Get away! Get away!
After this,
Stay away from John.
huh? I'm not even my character.
Yes, I'm bald. Who's pink? The one that's pink. John, was it you?
Too fast?
I got one.
Alright,
I got it. Nope, never mind. We're good. I got it.
Obviously, you know what it is. It's just
Still 22nd, I know it. Somebody told Among Us.
It looked like Dan was going to violate those Mr. Red. He's about to violate the Geneva Convention.
Where's your body, Teddy? Tell us where your body is.
Okay. I got
Oh, I got boxed. I'm boxed.
I am also.
Exactly, John. Vote for Cyan. Vote for Cyan.
All right. Wait.
How do you guys go?
I mean, I'll vote Cyan because when that one body died, all of us were in the same area except for Cyan. So
You voted for
you know.
you voted for him.
Out! I always sus. Nope. You don't want to see. Reject.
Was ejected. Victory.
Alright, teach the time.
Can I just do something? I want to get something. I'm gonna do this. That starts. Daddy, wait, no, give us shapeshifters. Fine, where's shapeshifter? Well, go on. Ben, go military team. Go military team. Shapeshifter. Shapeshifter.
You also Russian guard, bro.
Yeah,
Whoa,
we need to make
look at that.
awesome shapeshifter.
Okay.
Yes, sir. Good.
Customized.
Hey guys, put on the special ones.
How do you make a shapeshifter?
Oh, that means
Yeah, I don't know what they do, so
How do you change it to shapeshifter?
I don't know.
pineapple flavor.
No, one guardian angel. Don't put two.
Single slice pineapple.
Yeah, only put one guardian angel. Don't put two. Two is too overpowered. Put one. Put one. Put one. Two is too.
It's one whenever possible.
You. Nothing better right now.
And you put two imposters too.
I'm talking and when anything very
Guys, I'm gonna clean the vents. Like seriously,
Okay, I'll help you out.
That's actually a task.
Oh my god, yo, sus.
No, seriously, there is a task possible.
Right.
Here it comes.
Everybody, already? Oh, I know what it is.
That's great. Are you know about this stuff? Yeah. I take this to the shelf. Wait,
Who reported it?
Wait, no, never mind. I was just a sliding.
Oh, so that means you're dead?
I'm going to
Sure, look at his screen.
Because I have to wear it for the rest of the stream. We made the goal.
Yeah.
I know. It's very. I know.
Saying this.
It's very uncomfortable.
Okay, who's orange?
They just picked red for some reason.
see.
I voted him.
I rest my case.
I was not the imposter.
Who was the imposter?
I don't know. I'm a ghost.
I was just about to feel the engine going.
Well, at least.
This.
Oh, great. Who had
I
to do it?
got the bottom one.
Who's orange? Yeah, who is?
Someone?
Come on, need another. We need another. The guardian angel.
You're not supposed to tell people what the roles are.
Too bad, I already did it.
Yep.
Two is too much.
Oh, I made it.
Guys, off the bat, I killed the guy in admin and just went in front of the phone. I saw phones.
Oh my god.
Me and Roman were like,
What? Yeah, whatever.
What? It's like I'm trying to get the suit.
I need someone to sit here though. Yeah, but someone needs to play with them.
I will take control. I will take control.
No.
I shall take control.
No.
I want to take control. If you want a lunch break, I'll take control.
How would you place a rule that don't kill him? Don't kill him.
Yeah.
Hey, don't look at my screen. 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 Oh, okay.
don't say anything.
Oh. Now I know who I'm going. I saw too much, didn't I? First try. Then you're naked.
I am. I know.
You nothing.
John, I need you to follow me.
No. No.
Watching him. John, he's choosing me.
Oh, I'm med bay. Oh, I'll watch. Somebody watch me. I am med bay. Is visual tasks on?
Yeah.
Go and see him. Go and see him. You got two people. So watch.
Am I emptying out?
Oh, he's clear.
I'm clear. Hey, look, I'm clear.
Red.
Don't go me behind with this man! This hooligan!
Red's clear. Guys, Red's clear. I saw him. He
Why did I stop? Why did I stop?
Well, jump.
It's both of us down. And I know who it is.
I don't know.
Alright, where was the reported body? I didn't know. Where is it?
Right outside of Medbay.
Right outside Medbay? Okay.
And then I came back because
Who's Greg?
Oh. So, who are there was the people in Medbay. It was me. It was me. Someone scammed, and it was someone else.
I went all the way back to the weapons and I came back.
Okay.
The twins are dead. Who murdered us?
I don't know. I have no clue.
So I think it was a double kill, right? It had to be a double kill. I think, right? Okay. So we can skip vote if we want to, but
Yeah, I'm gonna keep an eye on you. Keep an eye on you. We're all right. Keep an eye on you. No one was ejected, skipped. Running. Wasn't sheesh.
How dare you?
I think he out there. Us. Here.
Alright. Oh, come on! I can't do it. I can't do anything to the ghost. Yes, I. But you can do that. You should. Don't tell me. Come on!
Yo, somebody over here stop it. What do you mean, Cameron? Why would come on, somebody stop it.
What?
Dan just gave himself away. I was like,
All right, Andrew. Andrew, can you play while I? Play.
I was like, I saw Dan and the two that are dead, and I passed with a weapon, and Dan goes, yeah, I think it was a double. Yeah, because we doubled though.
Yeah, because we don't. No, just Andrew. You're not supposed to look at my screen.
Look, I got that shield. I have shield. Guys, I have shield. Who's science? John. Guys, watch me do shield. And follow me. Then watch me shield on one.
It was in communications. There's only one in pop. So who was on that side of the map that?
I had one in shield, but he cleared me. He saw me do shield.
Okay.
We're both clear.
So that makes him suspicious because he was on that side, right?
I was with him. He was with him. He didn't kill me.
So, but okay, but so.
Killed him.
All right, we can skip.
Yep, skip. Skip. Who's Oregon doesn't vote? Who is Hey, John, call me. I need you to do something. Safe. He probably just killed me. Wait, where Teddy? Then call me. Just kill me. Next round, we change the map.
I think you have to leave like the game.
No, you don't.
You don't? I was in the middle of a task. Okay, who was it then? Where was the body?
I'm just voting.
I don't know who it is. I think it's I haven't seen it. Oh, okay. And I want to eat. But someone needs to sit here.
I'm gonna get you. Want me to get you?
No.
Maybe it's your place.
I have to go back.
Until we get to film. What's going on? Hey, he's taking a bunch of other guys else like took me 2 minutes.
Red is right in the bench.
I just gotta stop thinking.
No, he didn't.
Stop thinking.
Red's benching. No, I didn't. I know who it is, but I can't say it. Red benching. Red benching.
I think we got a little speech.
I know it. I did not know. I really did not. I really did that actually. I knew. Waiting for the
Someone gonna sit here.
Andrew said he would.
Andrew.
Yes, dream. Oh, let's see. Oh, look.
Any snipers in here? Hello, everyone. I'll be taking over. Are we gonna start?
The man in the dress is taking over. The man in the dress.
Yes, sir.
People don't realize that it goes dead. Or maybe they do, and then it's dead.
Yeah, I didn't go something like that.
Oh, we're making custom settings.
Make myself look as like as nice as possible.
Yeah. Let me see. That's Canada. I was gonna say I don't remember.
A knight with goggles. That's me. I'm a knight with goggles. Safety goggles, everyone. Safety goggles.
So
I'm going to say goggles.
I don't know. Let's do one more. Let's do one more game.
Two goggles.
Let's do one more game and then
Two
we'll
goggles.
all eat lunch. How about that?
Yeah, that's a good idea.
All right, guys. Let's do one more game and then we'll all eat lunch. All right. Why does my character have dumb as on his face?
This is a good example of it. To be like,
One imposter.
I just agree. No science. Science.
yeah, exactly. I'm like,
It's my task over here. It is.
Electrical.
So I spent my Friday, or I spent
You have actually.
like I don't wake up until
Meet me at asteroids. Except John. Could you meet me at asteroids?
Sure. I don't know where asteroids is, but I'll meet you there.
Right here.
Okay. Who's not here? That's the
Guns firing.
table. You actually have a table.
No, it's not blue. It's cyan.
Oh, well.
Well, no, it's cyan.
I'm pretty sure it wasn't me. I'm pretty sure it was the shapeshifter which was cyan.
Wait, can you?
I can vote, yeah.
No, it's just no, it's not. No, let's do it.
Well, I'm pretty sure we lost, guys.
Darlington. Woo! I'll have Minecraft.
All right, we're gonna take a break for lunch so we can all eat. We'll be back in like 10
Can I do
minutes.
this next? I'm trying to attempt to play Minecraft.
I have to follow.
Why do you have
right, everyone. It's not. It's not updating. Hmm. Yeah, you guys have to join the world. Here, let me do this. It's not, the game capture isn't capturing the game. Be playing some Minecraft.
Let's go.
Yeah, I created a new world. You guys should see it if you're connected to the Wi-Fi. You should see it. Oh, I don't know what that means.
It's probably like guy over there.
Guy over there, 1, 2, 3. I think.
Really?
Yeah. You should see if you click multiplayer and you go on to like LAN games, it should my world should pop up.
On Switch, Daniel.
No, but it should you do the same thing. It doesn't matter because you're connected to the Wi-Fi.
Can't believe we're good. Come on, Minecraft. This is kind of epic though. Hold on. When's the last time you guys joined your friends to beat the end dragon? I don't know about you. It was like 2 years ago.
Yeah, it was 2 years ago.
World. Around. After
Oh, so you'll sit here for you. You start it.
In the game.
Oh my god, my guy's too.
I have to put headphones on. Because we're beating the Ender Dragon.
Oh, you're good. Like, slowly the challenge got
Look. My sensitivity is actually bad. What is this?
Huh? Thanks, Excel. Oh, it says I get a gamer tag, a sneak. Huh? What do you mean by gamer tag is a sneaker up? Like logging in Minecraft is like that. But then it becomes a life. Oh, it's $10. It's money. No, I hope our next year. I haven't done that. No.
This guy upgraded, the one that says DeMolay.
See, Max joined. Max knows what I'm talking about.
I'm on mobile as well.
Live now. Got it. Yeah, we should just put the Overwatch League on the.
You could. If it has YouTube, does it have YouTube? It's probably there's probably one in my dad's bag.
Just found it when I was looking through the stuff. Then again, do you have your really?
Wait, Dan, show us your gamer tag.
It's guy over there.
Did you make that?
Did I make that? Yeah, I made that.
Dude, I got. Show us the whole guy over there.
It's guy over there. 1, 2, 3.
What is it?
Bro, I didn't even add him.
How do I change my Dan, let us in.
I can't let. What do you mean let you in?
Let me in. Go to settings. Who's owning the world? Go to invite.
I have it so you could if you go to LAN it's there. Because you're on the same Wi-Fi, the world pops up. You have to get on the Wi-Fi.
What's the Wi-Fi? What's the password? Reset. This is like just 36. That's why I like that. Oh yeah. You're gonna have to transfer it like there's no way.
If I can do the rest of the stream.
A whole other hour. That has to go. Clearly, it's like a login in before sleep grab. Who's that? How many names? I didn't even hit the file.
Got a very
Dan, you gotta add the timer so we can see how fast the speed is.
yeah, I also gotta put the dream music on for some reason.
I found it!
There you go.
Me and the boys playing Minecraft live.
Dan, I'm on Switch, so you gotta actually invite me.
Okay, I don't know how to do that.
Go to Monkey Play. That's not even playing. I will.
We're playing Osu.
Someone else.
Open up settings. Oh, invite to game.
Okay.
Do I have a way? Incompatible with launcher.
Add friend.
Add friend.
Oh, here.
Do I have to buy? Play with game pack. I'm gonna sabotage the.
It's. I couldn't choose the name, so it's that.
Yeah, I use one. And Aaron. I said, we're gonna hide your I got the achievement getting better, bro. There you go.
Yo, you got some weird?
It's a family friendly stream.
Add friend. Okay.
This is 2014.
So send invite. Did you get it?
No, someone said dream music. I was like, not playing dream music.
Here, go to servers. Without worlds. There you go. There's
That was so delayed. Join realm.
yeah. Well, no, I think. Well, I sent you an invite. I don't know how you get to it.
Then what is your desire to show?
It's when you know Minecraft Earth. It's the skin that that they gave for the promotion. So I sent you the invite. I don't know how you asked it. Maybe join.
Look like a basic rogue and be.
Oh, yeah, that was there. Yeah, I forgot.
I just made my character look like a rogue with an artificial twist.
Here, I'll send you it again.
I thought he was gonna beat my mom. He was out late last night.
Press find cross platform. See what that does now.
Now that I sold my soul,
Bill Gates, he should have let me in. Been the fun.
I have to find and find stupid. I can choose what? I can buy grandma. What, Minecraft? Why? Why are you buying in the first place? Dragon Ball.
There. Say we're friends.
Yeah.
Okay. Probably go back. Maybe go to your profile, maybe, if you can. No. Achievements. How about you go back? Press play. Press create world.
No. Here, let me just stone right now. I can't find any. I'll just quit.
Okay. Yeah, the world's already. We're gonna start a new one once everyone figures it out. Because it's night now, and we're gonna die.
I'm thinking.
There's
No, I like that. Ask Harry if he wants to go. I feel bad. Andrew, go raise 600.
Oh no. I'm actually gonna die.
Why does it see better on the wall than see above?
Wait, why? I gotta wait for that.
Dan, just make it open.
No, wait. How come it's $1 here, but I got it for $9?
Dan, you're being killed.
Yeah, I know I'm being killed by a zombie.
Yo, I see someone. There's a breaking the laws. The thing was said that on screen, right?
He entered it, but I can't find my stuff.
But I didn't. Oh, what do you do? Zombie with golden armor.
Do I have?
Die now.
No, I don't have cheats.
Dude, we're playing on the phone. The phone sucks.
Bro, I can't see him.
Bro, are you sure you have glasses?
I think they stop talking.
Maybe we should on your phone.
Oh, yo!
It's a
I can see better.
Oh my god. Yo, this is such a revelation, you guys. You're on the computer.
Normally I have my brain something down with my eyes.
Andy man. Yeah, Andy man.
Dude, I don't know where my cat
is. Guys, I actually found. Wait. No. This ain't my shit. Yo.
Ow!
Now's a good time to start punching.
Yo,
You are motherfuckers be like,
I'm losing it.
I'm getting spawn camped here.
We're all angry and we haven't even started.
Found it. There we go. Found my shit. Found it.
Yo. Watching the results. 15
Oh, bro, camera. Camera. And leave me alone.
I think I got the PC games back. Yo, I'm tripping. I'm so dumb. Why did it make me buy? It's not my cat.
Oh, I found a.
That's incompatible.
Why are you having so much trouble?
The last time we were on Minecraft, we found 20
All you have to do is open the Microsoft Store and download it. That's all you have to do. Okay.
It's 376 so long, 376.
Good thing we're not on show. Look at this. It's not even.
This would be my friend who would go home.
You go like, I'll throw it down.
Yeah, I got 1% profit, bro. Dude, we have a 300 times kilobyte download right now.
Oh my god, it closes my thing. Really?
I don't think it's download. I mean, the download is not even a megabyte, though. It's kilobyte.
No.
Oh, it's 1 megabyte? Yo, I didn't even download mine.
No.
It's daytime.
Yeah, I changed it today.
Did you keep this video on?
Last time we were in the field.
This meme saw me came out of nowhere and tried to fight me.
I'm super fine.
They just give you a circle with drag.
Oh, I
There's like not always. Or that.
Not too crazy. I don't know what to tell you guys.
I remember like last time when you change to just like a 6.7 megabits per second.
Yeah, and that's 20% off.
Like drag the circle in the direction.
Yeah.
I'm trying to download Minecraft this whole time. Oh, it hasn't even gone on. No. Why?
Oh my god. Like Minecraft was like less than 30.
I just paused.
I still can't.
I just saw that I was looking at one of my
I'm bringing my entire console, like my 50-inch, 70-inch.
Maybe I should.
There's a TV.
Yeah, maybe that's faster. No, my phone's on 1.
For download? Yeah, I don't know. It's like struggling. I don't know why.
Why do we think of that? I don't
don't know how I
Bro, at this point, I'm just gonna play Overwatch for. I'm just gonna play Overwatch.
I'll play. We should watch Dan play Overwatch and make fun of him every time he dies.
I think the ward's gonna close if I leave. I think.
Dan, I should play Overwatch and take your SR down by 1,000.
Oh god, my battery nearly died just doing all that.
He's at what? I think he's at silver tank.
Yeah, I'm at silver tank now. Fine.
Dude, I went on my phone. I still can't do it.
Because I closed it, I think. Why did this open? Why did this open?
Play Overwatch 2. No one on stream is.
Yeah, let's do Overwatch 2. Why not?
Oh, let's just play Overwatch 2.
I don't know how good the Wi-Fi is gonna be.
I said Minecraft down.
It's at like 6%, yo.
I think you should stop.
That's crazy. Just get better. We should take.
Yeah.
I'll slay us.
New Jersey DeMolay with the
Stream was a huge success.
we got money.
And then tomorrow we gotta post the SMT of one flyer.
Who made that?
Really? Who made that? You sent it.
Yeah, I saw it. And I was like, yeah, this looks like it was made with my picture made.
Good thing we're not on stream. You could not be watching.
I was like, yeah, who made this? Microsoft Paint?
Bell, do you want to make it?
No. I'm watching it.
Yeah. His dad or
I think I'm watching it.
him could be on there.
As soon as we went to Overwatch, we went down to 1 viewer. As soon as we switched. Just. Yeah, Andrew, do you want to end it? Play one game.
Yeah.
I mean, we can end it and then continue to play Overwatch.
I think just stream one game of Overwatch. Then we'll end the stream.
Okay. I don't know how bad it's gonna
You
be.
should let me try.
Why am I only at 60 frames?
What? Did you spawn over there? You just silently walked over.
What I love was that in Minecraft actually.
Oh, I'm at 60 frames. So.
Yeah, I know. A couple people don't want to go.
Yeah, it's crazy.
I know Will doesn't want to go.
Hey, I'm stream.
I'm not playing.
Yeah.
No. We were going to like the short one.
Oh, okay.
We cannot play it. I'm behind the MS right now. I get that. Like, look at that. Back away.
A clean shot.
Alright, so Alright, so we're gonna end this stream. Everyone they can do. Okay, you choose.
It's SMC. It's this.
Oh, wow. Thank you everyone for watching the live stream. Thank you for everyone donated. We such we were able to donate $600. The link is gonna be open for a while, so you keep donating if you want to. Once again, thank you to Islam Quran for allowing us to use their building to run the stream. And this was not my idea. This is actually our deputy master counselor and our senior counselor's idea. They did an amazing job putting this all together. So thank you, Dan and Will. And the state officers, you guys did a great job